Hey guys, Darth Bulma here. Joining me is my apprentice, Pip Starkiller.
Power!
And today we're gonna do our first movie review. We just watched Star Wars The Last Jedi on Saturday, so...
I watched a few days ago. We gave it some time for it to sink in and us to process all the information.
Because I was heated when I first stepped out of there.
I was too, I'm not gonna lie. But see...
Get into the right mindset to do a review and not
Well,
just...
you see, a couple days has passed since then, and, you know, like I said, we've had time to absorb it and process the information and come to some conclusions. Now, forewarning, we are going to go into spoilers later in the video. We will give you a huge warning before. We'll probably flash something on the screen.
Yeah.
We'll tell you about it before we move into it, so you don't have to worry about getting surprised. Originally, at first, it'll just be our opinions about the film and
the
cinematography and the acting and, you know,
the
cinema critic stuff, okay? But keep in mind, we're not professional critics by any stretch of the imagination, okay? We watch a couple we watch a couple videos here and there on the subject, but we're not aficionados.
Not by any means.
But this being said, before we get started, playing in the background here is a homemade video, compliments of a good friend of the channel, a big contributor to the channel, Michael Price. Shout out.
Whoop, whoop.
This, what you're seeing right now, he actually built this in his garage.
Yeah.
What a champ.
Built this entire thing from scratch, like working doors and fog lights and shit like that.
Yes.
It is the works.
Now, he didn't rebuild the old 1970s clips, okay? Some of them are spliced in. But I didn't rebuild this, for instance.
Sadly.
If only.
No Falcon.
But that being said, we went and saw the movie. Bulma, what were your thoughts? Why don't you start us off?
I think it was a good movie.
Okay.
Very solid. It definitely was very pretty to look at. It's the different planets, locations, you know, and it was really nice to look at. The way they shot it, and there was a lot of humor though in places that I felt it didn't belong, or it just made it not feel Star Warsy to me. It was just a different kind of comedy, which some people may find refreshing. I've seen a lot of people. I mean, if you wanted something new, why are you still watching Star Wars?
All right, now to clarify here, we wanted to have Damn Hall on the show for this because he really liked the movie and could give some dissenting opinions to ours.
Yeah.
But he has been incredibly busy with work lately, and so we're going to just fill for him. We've talked to him several times about it. So if I make some allusions,
Just a scheduling
if I make some allusions to his opinion, it's just so there's a devil's advocate thing going on.
Exactly.
Now, he says that the humor, Damha said that the humor was good. He liked it. It was fresh. It's modern. Okay, gotta keep with the times.
I have heard that too. That people felt like the movie has matured with its audience, and I don't agree with that.
Well, listen, guys. No spoilers whatsoever. There was humorous scenes within the movie that made me immediately think of Guardians of the Galaxy 2.
Yeah, what did you call it?
I called it Guardians of the Galaxy 3, The Last Jedi.
Yeah.
But, I mean, it was so jarring. If you watched all 6 of the originals, well, okay, if you watched the 3 originals, the 3 prequels, and the Star Wars The Force Unleashed movie, Force Awakens, excuse me, I keep doing that, guys.
I know.
I always, you know, even if you include the games, the Force Unleashed games in there is no humor like this in any of the movies, and it's a little jarring to me as a huge Star Wars fan. I will preface this all by saying, guys, I'm a huge Star Wars fan.
Huge Star Wars fan.
My mom gave me the special edition box set of the original 3 movies when I was a little kid. She said I had to see them. And this is my mom, and she, this is the same woman who told me that she didn't want me watching the idiot box because it would turn my brain into poop, okay? She gave me she gave me these movies and said, you need to watch these will change your life. They did. Wow. I've read a bunch of the extended universe stuff before Disney axed it all off. I read Darth Bane. I played Star Wars: The Old Republic. Super fan. The movie was a little jarring to me, just because it was different. It's like fundamentally different.
I feel like there wasn't that kind of humor, if I remember correctly, in The Force Awakens, and I feel like they kind of tested it with Rogue One, which isn't it's just a Star Wars story. It's not part of the...
Even Rogue One. There were elements to it, but there
was some humor in there a lot, like with the robot. I really liked him, but I kind of felt like he
Tudyk!
I loved him. I don't remember what they called it, but I loved that robot in Rogue One.
Yeah, he was great.
He kind of, his humor was kind of new. It felt new to me.
But it didn't feel jarring.
Yeah, this
one, it literally felt like they were splicing scenes from Guardians of the Galaxy 2 into it. Like, real, just slapstick, kind of out of nowhere, maybe even after following a serious moment to undercut it, which... I mean, that's fine. That's just not Star Wars. Star Wars always kind of took itself moderately seriously,
It's got its moments.
It's got its moments, like when Princess Leia calls Han a nerf herder. But like, it was weird, guys. I don't know if you see it. Tell me if you disagree. I found it jarring.
Yeah.
I liked Guardians of the Galaxy too. Let me say that.
Oh yeah, I watched it the night before going to see The Last Jedi, so seeing the comparisons was really easy because I just seen.
I'd have been weirded out if they slipped some Star Wars in my Guardians of the Galaxy too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If homie pulled out a lightsaber and cut off someone's hand in Guardians of the Galaxy, if Rocket pulled out a lightsaber and cut off someone's hand, I'd be like, this seems like a tonal change. I don't know. I mean, Groot does cut someone's toe off. Now, the way I've explained this to several people is if you are a casual movie-going fan, if you liked the Star Wars movies, you'll like this. You'll like this a lot. It's a good movie. It's excellent cinematography. The visuals are popping. They're crazy. Yeah, we'll go. I'm gonna just stay away from talking about anything about the movie until we move into spoiler corner. But the movie's good. The excellent cinematography, pretty good soundtrack. Some of the music was reused from the last movie. It's a lot of the movie. A lot of the John Williams score was reused. Which, like, guys, come on. There's nothing quite like, Luke motherfucking Skywalker staring into the distance. Dun, 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 dun. Oh, it just gives me the goosebumps. I love it.
Yeah, I got goosebumps in the theater.
Oh, yeah, no. There were a couple moments where it's like, it almost made me tear up. Like,
yeah. Which we'll get into later.
But
it was nice. We almost...
But if you're a super fan, I feel like you'll be disappointed. I really do. If you came in here, I mean, guys, we've been watching a lot of clips and interviews of like Mark Hamill talking about the movie, and this is like 6 months ago, 8 months ago, 3 months ago, long before before it came out.
Yeah.
If you would have listened to him talk, you would have known kind of to lower your expectations going in if you're a super Star Wars fan. And you obviously are if you're following Mark Hamill talking about the movie.
Actually, I saw that in one of those interviews, Mark Hamill said he told the director, Ryan Johnson, I fundamentally disagree with virtually everything you've decided about my character. Ouch.
Yeah, that's... Guys, Mark Hamill is Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, like,
I mean...
there is no one else.
No, there really isn't.
And for him to say that, I don't know, that really speaks volumes to me about this new movie. And, like Pip said, I mean, if you're just an average moviegoer, like, my aunt is going to take her son and stuff, I'm sure they're going to love it, they're going out to enjoy a movie. But it kind of hurt me as a big fan.
Yeah, me too, a bit.
Like, growing up, I had the same box VHS set that Pip had, the golden Darth Vader box. My dad had that, and I remember him showing me the movies and
if you
stuff.
send me a comment right now about how the Sarlacc pit was better than the original, go f*** yourself. Continue.
Yeah, so, I mean, my dad was a super fan, and, like,
Not really go f*** yourself. I'm fine with that comment.
My dad's a super fan, though. He likes to fix up, in his garage, he's got fixed up a bunch of Stormtrooper helmets. He repaints them, and that's really cool. He's got a bunch of Star Wars gear and stuff, and he was not impressed with the movie. He told me, and I was really...
Hold on, we'll save that one for spoiler corner.
I was flabbergasted, to say the least.
Yeah, her dad had a pretty scathing review.
Yeah.
It was summed up so beautifully. That's what I love about it.
It really was. And
he could have summed up this entire review in about 3 words. It's pretty good. Well, not 3 words, but a good 3 sentences.
Yeah. I mean, the movie is doing really well. I think it's one of the 4th movies in history to reach 200. Was it 200 billion?
Okay.
The opening weekend?
Okay, guys, I'm just throwing this out there. Who gives a shit? Transformers makes a lot of money.
Exactly.
Are we gonna sit here and wax and wane politics about Transformers being a good movie series? That absolute hack Michael Bay. Okay, yeah. We're gonna move swiftly away from that. But needless to say, guys, that just because your movie makes a lot of money does not mean it's good.
Yeah. I was gonna continue to say, like, it is getting quite a backlash online, despite the money and stuff it's making.
Well, listen, I think no one expected this to not make money. It's a Star Wars movie. You know what I mean? This movie could have been horrible. And it's not horrible, but it could have been, and it still would have made this much money. Because it's Star Wars. Mm-hmm. People love Star Wars. People have grown up with Star Wars. Guys, Jediism is an actual religion. Okay, let's be real. People are cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs over Star Wars.
Yes, they are. I mean...
So, people would have come and seen this no matter what. Revenge of the Sith made a lot of money too, but I don't think you hear anyone talking about, man, Hayden Christensen. What a... to be fair, real quick, we're watching a video, 40 Years of Star Wars, the full panel with George Lucas and Warwick Davis and all these...
Everybody.
Yeah, everybody's coming in to guest star on it.
They even had Hayden Christensen.
You know what? I'm here to say, Hayden Christensen actually won 100 points with me during this interview.
Don't kill us. You'll understand after you hear this.
You will. Guys, he comes on and he's talking about when he was on the set, when he was growing up. He grew up with Star Wars. And
like a lot of people
like a lot of kids.
So many people.
And he was trained at an early age, like most children, to make the lightsaber sounds with his mouth. And he was talking about there were a couple times on set when George Lucas had to come over to him and be like, Hayden, listen, it looks really good, but you need to stop moving your mouth. Like, I can see your mouth moving. We add the sound effects in later. Oh my god.
That's adorable.
That's so cute. I know, it makes me no longer see whiny Darth Vader. It makes me see a little kid who grew up with Star Wars who's just having the time of his life. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I love it. It's so cute. But he was still an awful Darth Vader. Absolutely awful.
Oh. It was also really cool. We saw an interview with Kylo Ren. I forget the actor's name.
I do too.
He came on though, and he was talking about how he went to Juilliard and stuff. He was in the Marines.
Excuse me if you hear some clicking, guys. I'm going to look up this actor's name because he does deserve to have his name known.
Yeah, that's funny. You know, he came from the Marines and then going into Juilliard, so he had a really tight
he had
personality.
a transitional period. He had a transitional period.
Adam Driver is the guy's name.
Adam
Driver played Kylo Ren, but
thank y'all.
if we were one of the musicians on the talk show actually went to Juilliard with him and had some stories and said he was famous for making the students in the class cry, and I'm just imagining. I'm like, yeah, that's Kylo Ren.
I mean, it's like when you watch him on the screen. I don't know about you guys. I'm not intimidated by Kylo Ren.
Not at all.
When he took off the helmet, anyway.
Yeah.
Now,
other than that,
seeing him. Oh, who was the talk show with? It was Stephen Colbert.
Yes.
It was Stephen Colbert. Stephen Colbert had like a little Thumb Wars lightsaber fight with him, and he knocked his lightsaber off, and he stands up like hard. You know what I mean? Like, he starts to pace a little. It's hilarious. I was honestly intimidated. I thought Stephen Colbert was about to get it. Like,
oh.
So, you know.
This is hilarious.
He was funny. Yeah, it was good. It was
What
good.
did
If you guys are interested, look up the Stephen Colbert interview with Adam Driver.
Yeah.
It was interesting.
Yeah, I guess he would get mad at people.
Yeah, he'd get mad at people because he just came back from, the Iraq War and stuff. An active duty service, and comes back, and what did he say? He's like, there's a transitional period where I was learning how to tone it down a little.
Yeah.
I realized
figuring things out.
I realized everything wasn't 100% all the time.
Yeah.
Everything wasn't so high stakes. And he's like, Stephen Colbert's like, well, give me an example. And he's like, well, now I'll say, hey, can you please keep your ass sweat off of my yoga mat? Please. And he looks intense when he says it. Like,
yeah. Bravo, sir.
Bravo, sir.
Made me like you a little more there.
Absolutely.
This totally seems like it's like do that's Kylo Ren.
Yeah. Alright, guys. Well, I think we've said about all we can really about the movie without moving into
so
spoiler
hard.
territory here.
So hard.
We're just not smart enough to know how to do it. That's all it is.
Not smart.
No, we're not smart.
Give me stick.
Alright, so guys, spoilers. Spoilers. We're gonna flash something on the screen too, right about now. Power of editing, go.
We used our force powers.
Yeah, we're gonna give you guys about 10 more seconds in case you're like across the room. Spoilers. I've been there before. I'm sitting here playing a game or something. I hear them start to move on to spoiler territory. I'm like, no. So about 5, 4.
Oh, look, there's an alert. Like, perfect.
3, 2, 1.
Oh my god.
Yeah, you don't get much better than that, guys.
Thank you, content gods.
Yes, they do smile upon us. Okay, well,
we are officially into spoiler
we're
territory.
officially in spoiler territory. We'll try and keep this in order, although we'll probably just jump around all over the movie and talk about random shit. Go ahead, start us, Bulma.
Okay.
I don't even know where to begin.
Well, I'll begin with my father's opinion on the movie.
Okay.
As he did say that he would be the first to say, Princess Mary Poppins, a millennial villain,
Yeah.
a slow speed space chase.
Yeah.
That was a kind of a tongue twister there. Ray's parents were trailer trash.
I'm okay with that.
Honestly, I was too. We'll get to that.
Yeah.
Snoke is snuffed before we learn anything about him.
That was retarded.
And a holographic Jedi that watched too many Matrix movies. They lost me on this one.
A holographic Jedi. Oh, never mind.
Yep.
Never mind. I'm not too many Matrix movies. Yeah, guys, that about sums up the entire movie.
Yeah.
Like, okay, all right, let's go. Let's start from the beginning. How does the movie start?
Oh.
I'm actually
Jesus.
forgetting the very first scene. It's been a few days now.
I know it. Finn was. Was it start off with? I know Finn was waking up and he was like, "Where's Ray?"
Okay, yeah. Finn wakes up. Insert random ass, totally jarring Guardians of the Galaxy 2 humor.
Yeah.
Where he like flops out of bed and there's this splash of water and he's got this like clear plastic suit. It's like little leaking water all over the place.
It
like,
was weird.
Guys, it was weird.
Looked like some Ghostbusters.
I was okay with the suit. The suit would have been fine as like a joke all in itself.
Yeah.
But like him slipping when he gets out of the bed and he falls down, there's this big gush of water that comes up like he's at a fucking adventure park, like a water
weird.
park. Jarring. Tonally jarring.
And I know Ray, they ended off The Force Awakens with her finding Luke. And
Alright, listen, there were a couple parts, I don't really care for what they did to Luke Skywalker.
Me either.
But there were a couple parts where Luke Skywalker shone through.
Yeah.
You know, like...
I could see you there, buddy.
Like, alright, Rey gets there, and she hands him the lightsaber, picks up right where it left off, you know what I mean? She hands him the lightsaber, and Luke just hucks it over his shoulder and walks away.
Yeah.
Like, get the hell out of here. And,
like, why do you think I came out here?
Yeah. And proceeds to, you know, she's like, well, I'm not leaving until you, like, talk to me and explain this. And, you know,
They sent me here.
Yeah, they
know?
sent me here. And so he just, like, ignores her and walks around the island and squeezes blue milk out of this weird creature's nipple.
Yeah.
And they did this close-up of him squeezing the nipple and this milk coming out and him drinking it. And he looks over at Rey while he's drinking it. And I liked this. Like, this is... It was like to say, like, this is what a legend is. Like, this is what it really is. You know what I mean? It's not all glory and fantasy and...
Yeah, he's just
cookies
showing,
and cream, you know what I mean? Like...
He's just surviving out there, you know?
He was a hermit off in hiding, you know what I mean? Now,
there was like a weird little, there's a little tribe of, I guess, the natives to
he's
that
living on
island.
the one of the places where like the first Jedi came, which I want to again Disney axed all the previous stuff. So I mean there was a whole planet and that was all set up stuff before, but
ancient like the original scripts and stuff.
Yeah, it was an original home for the Jedi, and there were these like weird fish lizard people things.
Yeah, these little
they were cool. They were cool. These little aliens that just like shuffled around the island and kept up the upkeep.
Yeah.
And they were funny, and like Rey's screwing around trying to train and like keeps breaking the buildings, and they always look over at her like out of the corner of the screen, all like super resentful as hell.
She like breaks their cart or something.
Yeah,
like...
breaks their cart, and she's like talking with Luke. She's like, I don't think they like me, and he's like, gee, I wonder why. Like, shit like that was when Luke came out. You know, it was a little bit of that. It was a little bit of that Yoda. And a little bit of Obi-Wan, you know.
Yeah.
He still had, like, the wise Obi-Wan thing going, and he had, like, the crazy hermit thing that Yoda had going on.
I really liked the movie the most when it was Luke and Rey.
Absolutely. No. Mark Hamill carried this movie.
Yeah.
Absolutely carried it on his broad, Skywalker-y shoulders.
And Daisy, the actress who played Rey, she did well. I
love Rey. I
loved
Rey.
her. I didn't really care for the little B story, little side.
Okay, guys, listen. Finn, the main fleet, being led by Princess Leia, is like they like warps. They light jump, right? Go warp speed.
Yeah.
They light jump out of that motherfucker, away from like all the. It starts off with them like blowing up a
dreadnought.
A dreadnought, like a first order
Snoke's
dreadnought.
No,
absolutely
no?
not. That was later.
That was later?
Yeah, that was later.
Oh, okay.
They blow up this dreadnought, lose a bunch of their fleet, and then they warp jump out of there.
They go
light speed out of there, and the First Order has this machine that allows them to track them through hyperspace, and so they jump in.
That's impossible.
Yeah, that's impossible. So they jump in after them, and you know,
it's just my dad. It's
guys,
a slow
they jump in
chase.
after them, and so they're like, oh well, we can't just light jump away again, otherwise they'll just keep following us, and then we'll be out of fuel.
Yeah,
so what we'll do is we'll just slowly inch across space with our thrusters, staying just ahead of their, just out of range of their main cannons, which is total BS if you read anything about like the extended universe lore about the starship cannons and all that, but whatever. That's nitpicky as hell. And I'll leave that be, because there are bigger ones to nitpick at.
They're bigger fish.
Oh yeah. Meanwhile, Finn's on the ship, and he's like, fuck this, I'm out of here. Mm-hmm. You know what I mean? So he's trying to like defect, and there's this whole B story with Finn and this other girl, Rose, who is a fine actress. I liked her well enough. But guys, like half the movie is spent with them. Maybe not half the movie, okay? I'm exaggerating grossly.
There was quite a lot.
A quarter, okay? I don't feel like I'm being exaggerating it when I say a quarter of the movie is spent with Finn and Rose.
It was, what, a 2.5 hour movie?
Yeah, it was a 2.5 hour movie. Now listen, their entire part could have been cut.
Oh, yeah.
Their entire part. The only reason it was in there,
the
only reason it was in there is because Finn was a big enough name to pull a scene, to pull time in the movie.
Yeah.
But if that's the case, then they should have had his story tie in. And now Damha argues the fact that, their whole story is to like go and find a cracker so that they can come and disable the device that enables them to follow their warp drive, okay? It doesn't go anywhere, and it ends up failing in the end after this entire fucking thing, okay? Yeah. And Damha argues that, well, I liked that because sometimes plans don't come through. Sometimes shit fails, you know what I mean? And that's fine. I understand that, but I didn't need to waste 45 minutes of the movie with them.
Yeah.
On a B story that goes nowhere.
And
that's crazy.
Really
That's crazy.
Casino scene.
Especially, okay guys, this is my biggest complaint with the entire movie. We didn't get to know jack shit about Snoke. Nothing.
Oh.
He just dies halfway into the movie.
Wasn't he all holograms in Force Awakens?
He was all holograms in The Force Awakens. He shows up in this movie looking like Hugh Hefner. Okay, which is fine. I was digging that. He has got like this like red suede outfit on. He looks dapper, okay? But I mean, guys, if you've read the extended universe, screw the extended universe, okay? If you watched the prequels, They could have tied that in and just made him Darth Plagueis. I mean, I don't want a whole entire giant movie explained about this guy's backstory. I don't care that much. I would like to know who the fuck this random ass Sith Lord is.
Oh, I'm a bad guy and I do bad things.
When we follow the prequels, we see very clearly that Darth Bane's rule of two is in effect. There are always two Sith Lords. The Jedi talk about how there are always two Sith Lords in existence, a master and an apprentice. The only way that the apprentice can become the master is by killing the old master and thus donning the mantle of it. Donning the mantle of master. You have to be more powerful than the guy who trained you to be the master. If you can't muster up in a time frame that the master finds acceptable, he kills you and finds another apprentice. I love it. But all three of the prequels follow that thing. At first he has Darth Bane. At first he has Darth Maul. Mm-hmm. Darth Maul is killed, so he gets Count Dooku, Darth Tyrannus. And then Darth Tyrannus dies to Anakin Skywalker, who is being primed to become his next apprentice, Darth Vader. When, at the end of Return of the Jedi, the Emperor tries to turn Luke Skywalker to the dark side because he's more powerful than Darth Vader. Luke Skywalker tells him, "Screw you, I am a true Jedi, I will not bow to you." And so he's like, "Then you will die." And kills him, and starts to electrocute him. And Darth Vader has a change of heart, realizes that fuck this guy, and throws him into the power reactor. You know what I mean?
Yep.
Randomly, in the 30 years in between, another Sith Lord, more powerful than the Emperor, just pops up out of existence and installs himself into power, into the seat of power. Ridiculous. I want at least a little explanation on that. And you already have one. Darth Plagueis. Listen, guys, I'm gonna throw this out there. Easiest transition scene ever, and it doesn't need a big ass explanation. It would have added 5 extra minutes to the movie. Cut that from Finn and Rose's story somewhere in the casino part, which was dumb. At some part they go to a casino and it's totally jarring. It's like a different movie.
Trying to be the cantina.
It was trying to be the cantina and came off like The Fifth Element. It was totally weird tonal shift, but that's aside from the point. Cut some of that scene, add this in. Luke is talking with Rey about how Snoke turned Kylo Ren to the dark side. You have this flashback, Rey goes, "Who is Snoke?" You have this, flash, like fade out into like a flashback of Palpatine walking with Anakin Skywalker saying, "Have I ever told you the story of Darth Plagueis the Wise, who mastered the Force to such a degree that he had the power over life and death?" And then you just fade out from that into Snoke leaning back into his chair like Hugh Hefner does, you know what I mean? Looking awesome. That's all the explanation you needed. 5 minutes. 5-minute scene. All this hate about who the fuck is this guy and this is so dumb just evaporates. Just goes away, poof. Because you already have a perfect backstory. And you know what? If that's too vague for the... See, now, I would argue that that's the easy route to go. My other route is to say that he's Darth Bane, who's been body hopping for generations, for thousands of years, back from the Old Republic into future day, which I admit would lose most audiences and most people who haven't read the extended universe stuff. But that's fine.
I haven't read it, but you've told me about it, and I think it sounds awesome.
Yeah, it is. Darth Bane's cool. Guys, if you haven't read the book, go listen to the audio novels on YouTube. They're on there. Darth Bane, The Rule of Two. I think there are 3 books in the series. What else? Princess Leia.
Oh.
Princess Leia all of a sudden is more powerful than Luke Skywalker with the Force. Guys, this is so dumb.
Princess Leia is Superman, guys.
Listen, some guys shoot like Kylo Ren and his two bogey fighters come in to like shoot up the capital ship that Princess Leia's on.
Yeah, they're big ass cruiser.
They torpedo the oh shit. Like the main room where the bridge where all the commanders are.
Yeah, Kylo looked like he was about to do it.
General Akbar gets killed. It was a trap. Yeah, gets killed. A small little mention of him. Leia's killed. Leia is floating in space, okay? She is frozen. Like Guardians of the Galaxy 2. Guardians of the Galaxy 2 did it better, actually.
Yeah.
At least they didn't bring him back. You see her fingers twitch, and her hand opens, and she, like, Superman's floats her ass to the door of the ship, and they let her back in. And they're like, oh, she's in a coma. Guys, Carrie Fisher passed away. If you're not already aware, I can't imagine that you're not.
I really did not appreciate the scene.
I thought that it was just a way that they were gonna remove her from the series in a very tasteful way. You know what I mean?
That's how I thought at first. I was like, oh, how are they gonna do this? And this
no,
would be nice.
they brought her back. She's in the rest of the movie, which is fine. You know, I understand you already have her whole entire movie shot, basically. You know, just keep her in. But now you're going to be in this very weird position where you have to remove her from the next movie for some inexplicable reason.
Yeah.
After she just survived death. I mean, she just survived brain death in the vacuum of space. Like, I'm pretty sure Neil deGrasse Tyson would agree with me here. Force ain't saving you. Like...
it will really take away from when they actually do it. It's like...
Yeah, it'll take away from it. Because listen, guys, at the end of the movie, they end up making their way to this salt planet. Sorry if we're jumping around a lot. We're not giving you like a real good scene-for-scene review of this. But it's enough to get the idea. And hopefully encourage you to go watch the movie and form your own opinions. We'd love to talk with you guys about this. But they eventually... Guys, they jettison all the people off of the ship after they're about to run out of gas onto this planet that looks like Hoth, but it's not, okay? Meanwhile, they leave their second in command, this woman who's taken charge after Leia's in her coma. She stays behind on the ship to sacrifice herself. First of all, guys, you don't leave your second in command to sacrifice themselves. You leave a fucking grunt. You know what I mean? Come on. That's a nitpick. Not really. That's a big deal, but whatever. We're going to move past it. All these people are jettisoned to the planet. Some scumbag who is in Rose's and Finn's story kind of rats them out, and they start getting shot while they're in these escape pods. Like, just getting sniped out by the main bulk of Snoke's Juggernaut, death. What is it?
The Dreadnought.
Yeah, Snoke's Dreadnought's just like sniping them out.
Yeah, that's just like...
And he has this ridiculous magnifying glass in his room where he's looking at it from. It's hilariously dumb. In a very clear callback to like, your friends are dying. But so this woman turns the ship around like this big, you know, the mother, the home base that all the rebels were on. She turns the ship around and warp jumps into their ship in probably the most amazing effect of the entire movie.
Oh yeah.
Straight up, it was awesome. Like the theater got so quiet you could have dropped a pin and heard it. It was amazing.
It was really nice.
The screen, all the colors got all muted. Oh, I can't even do it justice, guys.
Yeah, you see
awesome
all these
scene.
Explosions going off, but it's all
Awesome
quiet.
scene. But she totally like destroys their entire fucking fleet by doing this. Like rips his dreadnought in fucking half, destroys like a bunch of ships around it. I mean, obviously she dies doing this.
Yeah.
My question is, why was that not plan 1? Plan A, 100% of the time.
So many people got taken out of the rebels.
This
was going on.
Oh yeah, I mean the damage this did was astronomical. Like, it was just a little kind of lame. Like, why did you guys never do that before? But they get onto this planet that looks remarkably like Hoth. Some guy drops some bad bit of exposition about how it's salt. Which is kind of cool because when it starts getting kicked up, it's all like red salt underneath it. So it's like this white and red aesthetic.
Oh, it's really nice.
Looks gorgeous.
At first, I thought maybe it was because you could see the rebels when they were coming towards the AT-ATs. And I thought it was like from their ships, like the red.
Oh, the red getting kicked up from the ship.
Like, I thought that was coming out of their jets or something,
Yeah,
and then...
but there's a part where they fly through these big caverns in the ships, and like, it's amazing. It's really cool.
Yeah, the contrast was...
Yeah.
Good job on that.
Yeah, really cool.
And they had some creatures that I liked. They had these crystal foxes on the planet. I really like those.
Yeah, we'll drop a quick thing, because we are running out of time. We don't want this video to go terribly long. But, these crystal foxes are really cool. They had these, like, porgs, I think they're called.
Yeah.
I hated them.
I
hate them. They're one step away. They were one show away from minions, okay? It was bad. It's one of those things, guys, I know Ewoks were made to sell toys, but it didn't feel like that when they showed up on the screen for the first time.
Yeah, I thought they were so cute.
I didn't watch those.
Leia.
I didn't watch those when I was younger. I still don't even watch it now and think like, look at that marketing. When I saw these things pop up for the first time, I thought toy.
Yeah.
Hello, toy. Like, that was the first thing I thought. But moving on, they chase the rebels all go to this planet, this salt planet that looks like Hoth. Kylo Ren. In the vacuum of power. By the way, guys, real fast, I know we're jumping around again a lot. The scene where Snoke is killed and Rey and Kylo Ren have this awesome battle with the Imperial Guards, that was badass.
Oh, yeah.
Like, probably the coolest scene in the movie, maybe, aside from, like, the warp drive into the ships. Been waiting a long time to see those Imperial Guards in action, and they did not disappoint. Just to clarify before we move away from that scene, the reason that Rey went to Kylo Ren's ship was because they share this connection in the Force. It's random and not very explained very well. And then when she's there, Snoke just like, oh, I did it. You're a fool. Ha ha ha. I'm basically God. Like, I'm so unbelievably powerful. Mm-hmm. But I'm actually going to get punked out like an asshole and killed before you even know who I was. It was really whack. How he died was pretty cool. Like, Kylo Ren turned the lightsaber and turned it on and, like, just speared him in half. It was pretty neat.
Yeah.
But,
I didn't like how he, beforehand, Snoke's going, I know your every intent, but then can't sense a lightsaber next to him.
Yeah, it was dumb. This guy's basically marketed as God and gets killed by a parlor trick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but Kylo Ren takes charge. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm in charge now. Who's gonna stop me? And so they follow the rebels down to the planet. And they have these really cool, like, gorilla AT-AT walkers. AT-ATs. Like, they're, like, upgraded. They have, like, big gorilla knuckles on the front. Mm-hmm. They look, like, heavy-duty as shit. Yeah. Look way cool. It was a cool upgrade. And Luke Skywalker walks out. Like, he's there. He walks in and he says hi to Leia. And it was a cool reunion. It was a cool moment. And he winks at C-3PO on the way out. Like, it was Luke, you know what I mean? Luke showed up there for the first time in the movie. Real Luke, damn it. Not whoever the director thought Luke was. So he pops up there, and he walks outside, and Kylo Ren's like, kill him. Like, everything. Unload everything into this man. And, like, all the things, big, giant barrage of lasers, and then the dust clears, and Mark Hamill Luke Skywalker walks out and just dusts himself off, like, just wipes the dust, flicks the dust off his shoulder, like, what's up? and Kylo Ren comes down, and, Luke Skywalker just dodges around him for a bit, and, you think it's leading to this, strike me down and I will become more powerful than you can possibly imagine. I thought it was going for that, because they'd already done this really sweet callback where Luke's on the planet and he's like, I'm not going to help them. Like, this is their fight. And C-3PO is there. And he's like, I can't leave, C-3PO. I wish I could make you understand. And C-3PO plays like
R2-D2.
R2-D2, excuse me, guys. R2-D2 plays the old, the old clip from the first movie, Leia Organa. Help me, Obi-Wan Kenobi. You're my only hope. Oh, it made me cry. It was so incredibly sweet. And so he comes to the planet, and you think it's leading to that. And Kylo Ren swipes through him, and it just passes through him like he's a hologram.
Oh.
And then, haha, I fooled you. My people escaped while you were here screwing with me. And then it cuts back, like, some shit happens, and then it cuts back to Luke sitting on the planet. Like where he's been this entire time.
Yeah.
Where he trained Rey and stuff. Trained Rey, quote unquote. And, he's meditating on a rock. And it does this beautiful shot.
So,
I got goosebumps. Oh, me too. Of him framed against the sunset. And the music swelling.
The two suns.
Yeah, the two suns in the distance. And the music swelling. Dun, 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 dun. And he fades away.
Just bloop, and the cloak falls down.
Holy shit. What a fucking dumb ending. Excuse my language. What a dumb ending for Luke Skywalker. Now listen, guys, before we run out of time here. Luke Skywalker in the extended universe is one of the most amazingly powerful characters ever. You know what I mean? Like, a little too overpowered, and I understand why you have to tone that down. I was thinking when he showed up there and that giant laser barrage happens, I'm thinking awesome, like an allusion, Allusion, to how powerful he was in the extended universe, that he has this, like, this is a real fucking Jedi. You know what I mean? Comes out there and just has this much power over the Force. No. Like, just imagine he does that, comes out there, survives that just by being a badass. Kylo Ren comes out and screws with him, and he just, holds out his hand and just blasts Kylo Ren onto the ground. Like, pushes him into the ground. Like, this is the power of a Jedi Master, son. And then, buying his friends time to escape, and then he sacrifices himself like Obi-Wan Kenobi. Holds up the lightsaber and sacrifices himself to become one with the Force and go and join Obi-Wan and Yoda and Anakin. No, we get this absolute cop-out, illusion thing. Like, cool power. Cool power, you know what I mean? That you can, like, transmit an image of yourself across the galaxy, but like, it was dumb. It was so dumb. It could have been handled so much better.
And then I was like, he's dead.
Guys, you done fucked up. We're watching it. My daughter leans over to me. She's about 10. She leans over to me after he fades away, and she goes, "Did he really just die?" You done goofed. I mean. No, excuse me. She leaned over after he faded away, the hologram faded away. And she goes, "Did he just die?" And I said, "No." Right as he fades away. And I was like, "Oh, well, I guess he did actually. Never mind, honey. I guess Luke Skywalker is dead." Yeah, like, you guys, it was so dumb. Oh, we could harp on a little bit more, but
love to hear your guys' opinions too. If you agree or you disagree with us.
Yeah,
I think it was a good movie, just not a good Star Wars movie. Maybe I can see where they're going with trying to do this adventures in space thing, but I'm not really about it.
Guys, sometimes when you take a swing and you're trying to knock that fucker out of the park, sometimes you miss, and you can't be afraid to say, "Well, damn, I fucked up." Yeah. Now, what will piss me off is they double down on this kind of asinine stuff in the next movie. Which, Disney probably will, because this movie made all the money.
Oh, yeah.
But, then again, there's a lot of public backlash about it. And there's a petition being signed about making this movie not part of the canon.
Yeah, I actually saw that. That's crazy, man.
Star Wars fans are passionate.
Yes, we are.
This has shaped a lot of people's lives and childhood. I mean, not their lives, but maybe.
Yeah, some people.
People get into fucking film over this stuff, But guys, we're about out of time here, and this will be our daily upload for the Daily Brief.
Hope you guys enjoyed our first movie review, and we'll catch you guys next time.
See ya.